as a parent, don't you just love it when your kids ask you questions? I mean, it really is a rich part of the relationship when your kids come to you and ask you these questions. And I don't mean the questions like, why is the sky blue? Or why do worms have no feet?
Welcome to Leading Leaders Podcast. 5-minute videos, 5 days a week.
I'm Loren Norris with Leading Leaders Podcast. And it's fascinating to me. I get these conversations with my boys because they're older now. In fact, my baby is 21. And it's fascinating because on the one hand, I see them as my kids. And on the other hand, I realize these are grown men. And they're making their own decisions and they're living their lives and they have jobs and they show up to work every day a little bit early and they stay a little bit late. And sometimes they stay to make sure the work gets done even when they're off the schedule and they're all done with their day. Because they're not going to leave their boss high and dry. And that's kind of cool. That's cool to watch. But to understand that they've been trained, if you will, a little bit differently, because I have a fairly strong work ethic and I've always been taught to work hard and to be diligent and to expect nothing from anybody else, to be able to count on myself and for others to be able to count on me. And as I see my children grow up, all of them exhibit some of those same characteristics. They're all intelligent and yet inquisitive. Some are extremely book smart and others are just incredibly street smart. Some are kind of a mix of all of the above. But my son asked me a question this morning that I thought was a little bit fascinating. And I thought, I haven't really decided what my topic for today will be yet, but I like that notion. So here was the question he asked me. Why is it that some 30-year-olds still live a life of teenage drama? And I thought, there's probably more than one answer to that question, but as an adult, as a grown-up, as a father of adults, a father of grown-ups, it is a fascinating question when you look at the diversity of humanity. And I said, well, why do you think that is? And he said, well, maybe it's because they grew up in single-parent families and they've never seen what a healthy relationship should be. Or maybe it's because they just never really applied themselves to growing up. Or maybe they just like the drama. And I said, I think you're probably right on all of those fronts. But there's probably some things in the ideas of leadership as well that go into that maybe they've been coddled all their life, or maybe they've just never been challenged to take responsibility for their own life. They've never been challenged to think through how they feel about something and ask, why do I feel that way? Dr. Phil's infamous question is, how does that make you feel? It's a powerful question. It's a question we should be asking on a regular basis. But this may be a more powerful question. Why does it make you feel that way? Because a lot of emotion is responsive and a lot of emotion is reactive, meaning some of it just happens and you feel like, I don't have any control of this. But when you dig deep enough into the human psyche, you realize there's a lot of human emotion that you do have control over. In fact, everybody from Dr. Caroline Leaf to Paul Martinelli to Jack Canfield will tell you, Dr. Eamon Carter will as well, that you can't control the circumstances in your life necessarily. Events are going to happen that you can do nothing about. You can't prevent them at all. I don't know that anybody living in the United States today could have prevented the crisis of 2020. The question now is, why do you feel about it the way that you do? Has it made you want to give up on your job altogether because unemployment pays better? Has it made you so terrified of leaving the house that you'll never be able to work again? Will you live in a permanent state of some kind of post-traumatic stress? Have you found yourself thinking, how will I ever start over? My job as I know it is gone. I mean, there are some industries that will never come back. But how we feel about something, it's a choice. We can't change the event. We can change our response, and that changes the outcome. E plus R equals O. Event plus how you respond to it equals the outcome. How many young people today, though, have never been taught They've never been told that you get to choose your reaction. You get to decide how you're going to feel about this. So why am I angry is as much an important question as, does that make me angry? Why am I angry? Why am I frustrated? Why the drama in my life over this event? Is it because we're immature? I know those are tough, challenging questions, and they're the kind of questions that you ask and you feel like, well, I can answer that right now, and often it's like this. But let me challenge you to take some time and sit with those questions. What are the range of emotions that I'm dealing with right now? Are those mature reflections of who I am and what's going on in my world? And why have I chosen to feel that way about this circumstance? I'm Loren Norris with Leading Leaders Podcast for Tell It Like It Is TV. Have a blessed day.
Subscribe now for our extensive video library of leadership lessons promoting faith, family, and freedom.